Landlords, have we got more bad news for you? And it's not about the CDC extending a new eviction moratorium, an unlawful, unconstitutional moratorium against landlords until October 3rd. That's not the bad news. The bad news is this. This is the Landlord Advocates, where we help landlords become better landlords. I'm your host, Matthew Lyman. Welcome. Landlords in the state of New York, there are members of the New York State Legislature who are contemplating extending the eviction moratorium past August 31st, 2021. Some of them are from the New York State Assembly, a Hugh Line New. Probably not pronouncing it right, but that's how we see it, is Hugh Line New. On the Senate side is Alessandra Biaggi. She's one. Another one is Senator Micah Graneris. Many of us know that name. And then the leader of them all, the prophet, the savior of tenants, the love of tenants across New York State, is Senator, are you ready? Brian Kavanaugh. They are looking to get together. Well, August 10th is the date, to meet up to discuss the ERAP program, the Emergency Rental Assistance Program, the eviction moratorium here in New York State, and getting back members of the New York State Legislature into session so that they can vote solely on the extension of this eviction moratorium. Some of these members of the legislature want to extend it until October 31st, 2021. Happy Halloween! Lots of tricks on the landlords, but lots of yummy treats for the tenants. Some of them are even looking to extend it until December 31st, 2021. Happy New Year! Not for the landlords, but it's been a great, not year, but 22 months since March of 2020 through the end of 2021. It's been a great and a happy New Year for tenants, not only in New York, but from coast to coast, because most of them could not be evicted under the moratoriums that were in their state and in our state of New York. Now, as many of you know, with this eviction moratorium in New York, it comes with a declaration of hardship. All of us hate it. All of us hate this declaration. It has been pushed down the throats of tenants from legislators, courts, and tenant advocates. Well, all the tenant has to do is sign the declaration, and their eviction is adjourned out until the expiration of the moratorium. Right now, September 1st. In that case, landlords cannot even apply for a court date until after the expiration of the moratorium. Again, right now, that's September 1st. But now some of them are looking to make it when the landlord cannot even apply until November 1st or after January 1st, 2022. Now, most of you are also aware of ERAP, the Emergency Rental Assistance Program, that was funded by the federal government to the tune of over $45 billion. Here in New York State, the numbers have ranged of what was allocated between $2.3 and $2.7 billion. Now, the caveat behind this program is that 65% of the funds in each state must be allocated. And if they're not allocated, then that money will get sent back to the federal government and given to those states who have allocated 65% or more of those funds. As we have seen, this program, run by state governments from coast to coast, has been a charade, has been a circus, has been a debacle. It's terrible. They've given around 7 to 9% of that money out so far to the landlords. It's terrible. The numbers are terrible. Now, here in New York, a Virginia-based company by the name of Guidehouse was awarded to roll out this program and make sure it worked was awarded $115 million to roll it out to make sure that landlords got this money from what the tenants owe them. $115 million. Well, we've seen that this agency has not done a very good job, and I'm saying that nicely, in rolling out this money to the landlords. So Governor Andrew Cuomo has decided to supplement their workforce by giving them 350 state workers to assist them. Now, here is what we demand to know. Those 350 state workers, even though this whole thing is on the backs of taxpayers, all this money, all these programs, all this, all that, we want to know who is paying those 350 state workers, right down to their benefits, health insurance, disability insurance, pay, retirement, all of it. All of it. Who is paying for it? Who should? Guidehouse. It should come out of their $115 million because apparently they're not doing a good enough job in rolling out this program for us landlords to be compensated. Now, right now in the state of New York, at last count, they have 160,000 applications from landlords and tenants to get funding. That number is rising every day. Since the production of this video and you watching it, those numbers have grown and grown and grown. Now, out of that 160,000 applications, as of July 27, 2021, there have been, are you ready, drum roll, 55 applicants who have received funding. That's right, I'll repeat it. 55 out of 160,000 applicants have received funding from this program. It averaged out to about $14,000 an applicant. 55 out of 160,000 have been approved and paid for or have received funding from it. Now, New York State claims that another 4,800 applications have been approved, and that by the time you watch this video, they would have already received their funding. We don't know yet. They can claim whatever they want, but you and I, as landlords, and we at the Landlord Advocates will tell you, all of that doesn't mean anything until we get the money in our hands. You can tell me you're sending me the money, but until I get it, it does not exist. Now, at the rate that New York State is approving or denying the applications that they have right now, if they shut down the portal, shut down the website, get rid of any more applicants, take no more, and stay for what they have right now, if they do that, looking at how many are left, it will take another 5.5 years to go through the applications that they have right now. Yeah, yes, we did our math, we triple checked our math. Over 5.5 years it will take for them to go through these applications. Now, the federal government said that they cannot take that long, but at the rate they're going, 5.5 years. The money is supposed to be spent out, we believe, by September 2022. 5.5 years? How many of us can wait that long? We can barely wait now. Now, local CBS News affiliate WRGB, a great station, had put out an interview, and part of the interview was conducted with Senator Brian Kavanaugh. We all know that name again. And Senator Kavanaugh says about the ERAP program the following. So we are very much focused right now on making sure that program is working so that this question on whether somebody is going to get evicted is made unnecessary because the rent is getting paid, said Brian Kavanaugh. One of the things that he did not say in that particular quote, but we have mentioned this before in one of our other videos about the ERAP program, that at the end of this video we will have a link above that you will be able to click on and watch the video, is that the moment your tenant applies for this ERAP funding, any step in the eviction process in the court, all notices still to be served. You can still acquire a court date, which is advisable. You get into court, the tenant says, Your Honor, I applied for that money thing, that money program. I don't know. I just applied. And because I applied, I've been told by tenant advocates and legal aid and all that you have to adjourn my case out until the determination has been made. So, Your Honor, I guess we need an adjournment. One of our social media friends had said that they were in court and the tenant had said just that. And the judge had told the tenant that you really even need to bother to come back to court. Just call us on the date that we're adjourning it out and let us know what the results are so far. Really? Really? So the tenant is going to call the court and say, oh, Your Honor, I haven't received anything in the mail yet. I don't know. The court will adjourn that case out. When in fact the tenant could very well be looking at a letter from the state stating that you have been denied. But they have just bought themselves more time to stay in the apartment without getting evicted and without having to pay the rent to the landlord. So this ERAP program, along with the New York State Eviction Moratorium, is dastardly to landlords. We're going to marry the two here and show you the bastard children that it's going to create. When you take the eviction moratorium, that these legislators know that when they apply for the ERAP, the eviction is temporarily on hold until a determination has been made. Then temporary could be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months, who knows? Especially in New York City, it can go on even longer. But they know that when a tenant applies for the ERAP, then it's on hold. But yet they are still trying to push out this eviction moratorium to stay it longer. And what that means, my friends, is that when the tenant signs the declaration, the landlord cannot even apply for a quit date. So let's say they push it out to October 31st, November 1st, 4th, 5th, whatever the date might be. You apply for a quit date. The tenant can come to court. On that date that they come to court, they can say, Your Honor, I'm applying for the rental assistance program. And then the court will end up turning around and saying, okay, we're going to adjourn this case out until that determination has been made, if you're going to get funding or not. They just applied. If they applied back in June, the determination would have already been made, and therefore they would have been either approved or denied. If they were denied, the eviction would go through, and the landlord would be able to regain possession of the property. When these legislators are talking about, we got to extend the eviction moratorium so that millions of people are not left homeless out on the street, that's not the case. The ERAP program protects them from that. But by instituting an extension of the eviction moratorium in New York State, you are giving them more time to not apply, because nothing can happen to them. So you are buying them more time, unethically, immorally, and quite frankly disgusting, that is what you legislators are thinking about doing. If the tenants can't get off their butt and apply for this funding, then so be it. They get evicted. Goodbye. Get out. But why should the state say to them, it's okay, we're going to give you 3, 4, 5, 6 more months. Don't worry about it. Sit back, relax. Enjoy the money that we're throwing at you. Enjoy the fact that you can't be evicted by your landlords. Enjoy the fact that you really don't have to pay the rent at all. Enjoy yourself. Happy Christmas on us. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. You deserve it. All the while, the landlords keep getting the shaft. Keep getting the shaft. Landlords, we must gather together in person, that is publicly, and on and off social media. We gotta do this to end this oppression and this charade that not only the state government, but local, state, and federal governments have placed upon us landlords. We have got to get together and stop this. Will we be able to? Who knows? But we have to make our voices heard. We are very active on many platforms on social media, NY Landlords, Landlords Only, many others, our YouTube channel, and we broadcast these videos across those platforms. There are many members of these groups who are only that, just a member. You need to participate. You need to let your legislators know. You need to let other landlords know that we are in this together, and we're going to work together. It should not be relied upon a few. Because when that happens and bad things happen to us, those other landlords say, how did this happen? Why did this happen? Because you remained silent. You need to stop that. Landlords, we have got to show that we matter. Because if we don't, we will be ignored. Landlords, you know that we are here for you, that we are here with you. We ask that you subscribe to the Landlord Advocates, share our videos, give a like up to our videos, leave comments below. That lets YouTube know that what we share with you needs to be shared with many more people from coast to coast, up and down the United States, and even in other countries. Until then, landlords, take care.